My talk today is about designing for your audience, and this is more kind of geared towards projects who, I guess, have kind of an audience in mind for their project besides themselves. There are some projects in RCOS that are really cool and awesome, but sometimes they're just like small trinket engineering, and that's cool too. But this is kind of geared towards for some projects like the homework server, or I guess like Submarine, or MeNext, and some of the projects like that. And so I guess to start off with, who is your audience? This presentation is directly just warning you. Your audience could be other college students, it could be college professors, it could be music junkies, it could be tinkering engineers, or the rest of the open source community. But it's really important to identify who that group or niche is. So if you're developing for them, you can kind of find people who you can be in contact with to develop like relations and design features based on who you're working for. And so with that, you need to cater for your audience. And what I mean by that is not like, well, I guess I'll start actually with the last one, work with them, not for them. If you have a particular audience, you don't want to listen too closely to one specific member of that audience. Say you're working with a group of people and you find that one of them has a lot of strong opinions about your product and what should be in it. It's really important to make sure that you identify that that is just their opinion, and there are lots of members of the audience that you should listen to, because they may have other input and different ideas for the features that you're implementing. And so that's a really important thing about, is there a need for this? Why are you building it? Are you trying to, what kind of problems are you trying to solve with that? And then what else do they use? Like, do they have other products that have some features in them that you can kind of use based off of that? And what exactly is it that they're looking for? And so with that, I have, with that I have my analogy. So my analogy is about peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, which is kind of a weird thing to think about at first. But the way that I like to think of it is hopefully everybody likes peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Some people don't, some people do. Some people like more jelly, some people like crunchy peanut butter. Those people, in my opinion, are wrong. So with that, this goes back to the work with your audience, not for your audience. Make sure that when you're designing a product, that you work with that entire audience and you don't hear just the people who like crunchy peanut butter or just the people who like jelly. Everybody has their own opinions, but it's really important to get everybody's voice when you're making a product in your audience. And so with that, I'm going to my mini tangent. Another audience member that, especially in RCOS, is the open source community. We develop code because we all love the code. And we all are making open source software because we really want to share that with everybody. So people who contribute to your projects are just as important as people who use your products. And so with that, it's really important to make sure that you document your code well so that others can help maintain it and others can help add to it. It's really awesome in the open source community that so many people are so involved with a lot of different aspects, whether it's contributing directly to Node.js, whether it's making a homework server or MeNext. I'm just picking the projects that I think of off the top of my head. So it's really great to see so many people contributing to projects that can really grow. And that's one of the great things that I like about RCOS. And so ways to make your projects grow are by taking advantage of some of the tools available, such as like the issue trackers on GitHub or other code repositories and things like that. And making sure, of course, that your code is understandable and documented well enough that others can help contribute to it. And so this is just an example. I've worked on the homework server for a bit. I was working in conjunction with Professor Cutler because I identified her as one of the audience for this project. The people who have been around the block a bit, they've used probably the old homework server for data structures and remember what a nightmare it was to use it sometimes. The idea behind this was we wanted to make it easier for both Professor Cutler to create and design homeworks, but also to make sure that students were having an easier time with the homework server and doing the assignments. Because a lot of the trouble that they had with the assignments turned out weren't because of the content or the concepts themselves, but it was because the homework server said you're all wrong. And they weren't all wrong, they were missing like a few spaces. And so we originally designed this with data structures in mind, and we wanted to expand out to other courses, but our general focus was originally with that. And that's kind of where I came up with the PB advantage. Data structures may have been too narrow of a niche audience to look at, and we should have been focusing on other courses. And so now we're trying to do that. We actually are really excited to see that the whole service is rolling out for data structures, computer science 1, advanced computer graphics, computer vision, and we're looking to roll out a couple of other courses too. And so with that, I guess, are there any questions? I don't have a question slide. Cool.